Hey everyone, I'm back with another Lightroom and Photoshop tutorial for you. This one that we're going to do today, we're going to talk about Photoshop overlays. And overlays are a way that you can really bring your image to the next level and kind of add something to it that wasn't there when you actually took the image. The example that I'm going to use for you today is I live in Wisconsin, so we always do holiday mini sessions every year, and we have to do them early enough so that everybody can get their pictures back in time to send out Christmas cards. So we don't always have snow on the ground. One of the things that I like to do as an option for my clients is, aside from just sending them their regular gallery, I like to take a couple of my favorite images and add a little bit of snow overlay to them to make it look super wintry. So I'm going to show you today how I take an image that I already edited in Lightroom and bring it into Photoshop and add a snow overlay to that image. We're going to start in Lightroom, and this is the image right here that I want to be able to add some snow to. So I have that image selected, and I'm going to right click on that image, and I'm going to choose Edit in Adobe Photoshop. So now I have my image in Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is add my overlay. I found these particular overlays on Etsy. I purchased them from someone who creates lots and lots of different kinds of overlays. You can do glitter overlays. You can even do overlays of tree branches. So like if I wanted to take and kind of add a little more depth to my image, the fact that they have some pine trees back here, there are overlays that I could purchase that would put a branch or something in front of the image to kind of give it a layering effect. But for this particular image, I'm just going to add a little bit of snow. So I already have my purchased overlay saved in a folder that I have for easy access. So the way that we're going to place it over my image is I'm going to, now that I have my image open and brought in from Lightroom, I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to choose the option of Place Embedded. And now it's going to open up my most recent folder. I have mine opening to where my snow overlays are, and this first one here is one of my favorite ones. So you can see the package, or the what I purchased on Etsy, came with quite a few different overlays. There's big snow like that. There's other types of snow overlays. But the one that I like to use the most is this one right here. So we are going to go ahead and select that and choose Place. And it's going to place it over the image. Well, as you can see, when it comes in, it has a black background with the white snow over the top. So we need to remove that black background from the overlay so that all we see is snow. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to come over here to our layers panel, and right here it just says normal. We're going to click on the arrow to bring up that drop down menu, and we are going to choose the option of screen. And as you can see, once I choose option of screen, all the black background goes away and all we are left with is snow. So what I'm going to do now, because the snow doesn't cover my entire image and it looks kind of funny, I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to drag my snow larger to be the size or larger than my image. So that way there is snow all over my image. So once I've done that, I can hit return to take away these adjustment bars. And now it's kind of locked in. You could leave it like this if you wanted to. I personally like to do a little bit more of adjustments around the face so that we still want snow to be falling there, because it's not super realistic that there would be snow falling everywhere except the face. But we want to just kind of reduce the harshness and the brightness of the snow on the face. The way that I do that is I am still selected on my snow overlay layer. I'm going to choose the masking tool. So I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to change the flow. So I'm going to make sure I have my eraser tool here, because I'm basically going to erase away some of the snow on their face. But but I'm not going to erase it completely. I'm only going to erase it so that it's just a little less prominent on their face. So I'm going to make sure once I have my eraser tool, I want to be on the white color versus the black, because white will take it away, black will bring it back. And then I'm going to come up here and choose opacity of say 50%, and then the flow of my eraser to be a little bit less as well, because that's going to help make sure that it doesn't just remove it completely. It's going to make sure that it just erases it ever so slightly. So I'm going to start out on this big one here right on his face, and we're just going to kind of take it away. We can do a little back here. I just want it to not be so prominent on their face that all of my attention is going to those snowflakes and not how awesome their faces look. So like I said, I'm not taking them away completely. I'm just kind of reducing the harshness of them so that my eyes aren't drawn to the snowflakes on their face, and that I'm looking more at them as a subject versus them having snow all over. So anywhere you just kind of feel those snowflakes aren't quite as desirable, you can go ahead and remove them, reduce the opacity of them, and that, I think, looks pretty good. I'm just going to do one more over on the whole entire image and make sure nothing else looks funny if there are too big of ones in their hair, but really I think this actually looks pretty good. So what you're going to do now is we're going to flatten this image so that we can bring it back into Lightroom, which I'm going to select both layers. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose merge layers. And then I'm going to click Command S because I'm on a Mac. So that's going to save my image. We're going to wait until saving is at 100%. And then we're going to toggle back over to Lightroom. And we're going to see that our image has come over from Photoshop. So now if we toggle back and forth from the original image to the most recently updated one, you can see the difference, snow versus no snow. Which again, the image was great just by itself, but I think adding that little extra layer of snow really helps enhance and bring that true holiday feel for an image that somebody really wanted it to be holiday. One other thing that I will show you is if we go back into Photoshop, so I'm going to right click on the image that I had already updated, and I'm going to choose Edit In. Let's make sure we only have one image selected when we do this. So I'm going to select this image, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose Edit in Photoshop. And it's going to ask me, and I want to keep it where it says Edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. So I'll click Edit. And now if I really wanted this to be super snowy, I could even place an additional overlay on top of it. So we're going to do it the same way we did the first one. We're going to do File, and we're going to do Place Embedded. And now we can choose another overlay. So we already did this one. So now let's choose this one, and we'll put this over the top of it and see what those two layers look like layered on top of each other as a set. So same thing, comes in with a black background. I make sure my overlay layer is selected, and I'm going to choose where it says normal, and I'm going to change that to say screen, and that's going to take my black background away. And I'm going to drag this nice and big. Sometimes I go slightly larger than the edge of the image. I'm going to click return to lock that in right where I want it. And now same thing, we're going to go add layer mask because we want to get some of that snow away from their face. I have my eraser selected. I have my opacity and my flow down a little bit so that way we aren't taking it away completely. So again, I'm just going to start at the face, and I'm going to kind of come through, and I'm just going to take away a little bit of that snow on their faces. And if I feel too that this entire layer that I just added is too prominent, too bright, I can come over here and change the opacity of that entire layer so that I still have the effect of the snow, but not quite as bright. So this is another way that you can just kind of add more of that winter look. In my opinion, this is probably too much snow considering they're not wearing winter jackets and stuff like that. I liked it better where it was just with a little bit of that subtle snow feeling. But I just wanted to show you that you could add multiple overlays on one image and it can work together if you want to as well. So we're going to close out of this and go back into Lightroom. I'm not going to save the changes because I liked how it looked with the first edit, and we're going to leave it right there. I hope you found this helpful. Again, you can find so many different kinds of overlays on Etsy. There's glitter overlays, tree overlays, floral overlays, basically anything you can think of. They're not super expensive, and most of the time you can buy them in bundles. So it's a really good way to save some money and an awesome way to add that extra enhancement to your image that you weren't able to get the day that you were shooting your session. If you like these types of videos, please be sure to subscribe and put a comment down below. If there's anything else you would like to see in a video, comment that below as well. And I hope you continue to tune in. Have a great day.